So with that, we move on to our next rock star speaker. How many of you remember a movie called Pushpak? Okay, not, all right. Pushpak, do you remember who was the person who acted in that movie? Sorry? Kamal Hassan? Yeah, see, people always think about the male heroes first, right? Kamal Hassan, right? Okay, so we have Amala Akkineni with us. Is she here? Where is she? Amala? So Amala Akkineni is going to speak about enabling understanding of animal rights and concept of enoughness. Amala has been working with us for a long time now, right from the time when we started the Joy of Giving movement to Right Every Wrong to Karmaveer, and huge animal rights activist, environmental rights. Amala, you want to speak from the center stage?
Namaskar, good afternoon. It's been amazing listening to all of you. I'm truly inspired. And for a moment I thought, what am I doing preaching to the choir? And then I realized, no, today my role is to celebrate your abilities to speak up for the rights of animals and for other species who share our planet. I grew up in Chennai in an institute called Kalakshetra, which was started by a lady called Rukmini Devi Arundel, who was instrumental in presenting a report to Parliament which talked about the cruelty to animals, and she was instrumental in passing the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act in 1960, which was the first Animal Protection Act. As students, we shared Rukmini Devi's library, and so I had a great exposure to a huge variety of books ranging from theosophy to Gerald Durrell, James Herriot, National Geographic, and piles and piles of anti-vivisection magazines. That, along with my Irish mother, whenever I rescued a mangy, sick or injured animal and brought it home, she never once discouraged me. So I have both Kalakshetra and my mom to thank that helping animals became part of my psyche, second nature to me. So I moved to Hyderabad in '92, and I found sick and injured animals lying everywhere and no service to help them. And with my husband's help, we started together the Blue Cross of Hyderabad, which works to help animals. We started with a rescue service, and then of course we went on to a sterilization program and vaccination program for stray animals to reduce their numbers, thereby their suffering, adoption, prevention of cruelty, and working with government systems and social groups to bring very humane solutions for animal-related issues. It's been wonderful. It's 21 years since I started doing this, and we've been able to reach help to about 375,000 animals. We have a wonderful team, an amazing team, and every year we add about 25,000 animals to that number. In between, I found an identity as an actress. And the truth is, a professional actress in India has a very short professional life. So before people got bored of me, I decided I'm going to go out and find my life's purpose. And that's how I discovered the world of suffering, human suffering, animal suffering. That's how I came in contact with Jerry and iCongo, and that's how you see me here today. the one thing I understood is, as human beings, the presumption that we will do the right thing is the mistake we make. We don't always do the right thing, and therefore the rights movements, whether it's women's rights, child rights, animal rights, it's because as human beings, as a species, we are not programmed to do the right thing every time. For example, if we take all of us in the room, how many times have we done the perfectly right thing even for ourselves? Very often the choice is what's convenient, what's comfortable, and what's available. And so the rights movements provide those rights to preserve the liberty, the freedom, the justice, and the well-being of others. So focusing on animal rights today, I thought I could clarify for all you wonderful people how you, in your daily lives, working in the wonderful causes that you work, could also speak up for the animals. Animals in the wild are perfectly capable of looking after themselves. All we need to do is protect their habitat, and their species will survive. That, and of course, prevent killing of the species through poaching, and they take care of themselves. But animals in captivity suffer the most. 7.6 billion animals are raised for food. All these animals are kept in captivity. This is not including poultry. This is not including animals that are taken from the seas and rivers for our food. Again, billions of animals are used in experimentation in laboratories. These animals again suffer. And so there is a simple way a lay person can watch out for the rights of animals. The basic line is freedom from cruelty. Just because we use an animal doesn't give us the right to abuse it. There are 5 points you can keep in mind. One is an animal that is being utilized, or a group of animals being used. Do they get food and water? Or are they starved? And that amounts to cruelty. Animals kept, are they given timely veterinary care if they fall sick? Are they vaccinated against disease? If not, that amounts to cruelty. Animals kept in confinement, are they allowed to have companionship, or are they kept in solitary confinement? Are they allowed to move and have their natural behavior expressed, or are they kept in cramped, tiny cages, unable to move? Millions of animals are kept like this as we speak. Poultry are kept 16 to 20 birds in a 1 square foot cage. Never ever can they open their wings. Ever. Animals, when kept for human use, are they tortured and inflicted with mental and physical suffering? If yes, that is cruelty. If you keep these things in mind, and if ever you see, just through these simple measures, that the animal is suffering, please make it a point to speak to the person in charge, express your horror, speak up for the animal and say, this is not acceptable. You must provide food and water. You must provide shelter from sun, rain, harsh conditions. That amounts to cruelty. I'd like to end here with a simple thought on, as human beings, how much would make us content? How many animals will we eat before we feel healthy? How many animals will we eat before we realize we've become unhealthy? How many things will we consume before we've realized we've destroyed our planet? It's a very important question. I ask myself this every day, and I request you to ask yourself too. Thank you.
Thank you, Amala. So there was Amala Akkineni speaking about animal rights and the concept of enoughness. And it's been a constant endeavor for us at Rex and Karmaveer to recognize people who are working on animal rights, because a lot of forums do not encourage talks on animal rights, because mostly focused on human rights. But I think it's what Gandhiji said. It's like that a society is known by the way we treat our animals. And while we worship cows in the morning, we beat them up in the afternoon. I see that on the roads of Delhi and Bombay. So I'll open the floor for questions with that.
I see the giant animal, proud animal standing there. See, for some festives like Bakrid on some occasions, like thousands of that giant animals brought to Hyderabad where you are staying, and they are sacrificing it. So can't we prevent them?
I am very glad you're making an observation, but the information is slightly incorrect. Last Bakri Eid, there were about 260 animals in a district just outside of Rangareddy district that we stopped them from coming into the city.
Great.
And they were sent back.
Great.
About 40 animals were brought single into the city, in which we were able to locate at least 36.
Right.
So maybe 4 were slaughtered we couldn't locate them.
Right.
So there is change.
Right.
We're trying to stop them before they actually come into the city.
Excuse me, I have a very important question to ask.
Yes,
See,
sir.
Nowadays, the cow dung or the rhino dung or the elephant and so camel were in various states, be it Assam or Rajasthan or Uttarakhand, we find that this is being used as a raw product for social entrepreneurship. Now, it's very important that when the social entrepreneur earns something out of it for making paper or something, or a jute bag or kind of a stuff, he must plow back a part of the income for the welfare of the animal. And this is not happening. There is no policy in the government, and there is no policy in the state, and there is no policy by the NGOs who are doing this work. I would like to have your views on this, and I request you that we must have a very strong concerted effort on this issue.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And I'm afraid we'll only take one more question after this, because we are running out of time now. But catch up with Amala over lunch, yeah?
Beautiful point. Even if we had like a 1 rupee cess on milk, we would have a fund enough to fund all the animal cruelties in India. But sadly, human greed, no, that's what I said. How much is enough? It's human greed that just doesn't want to let 1 rupee go.
Amala, thanks for that very inspiring speech. I can promise you that I think a lot of us here are going to pay attention and do our little bit to point out when we find something going wrong with regard to animals. I just want to ask one question. You know, in my head, I have a psychological fear about the fact that there is a stray dog menace in our, in our country, in our cities. I'm scared. I've been chased by stray dogs just because, say, I'm on a bike and it's a wee hour of the morning or a little late in the evening. I'm scared. My son loves dogs, but there are times when, when there are a whole lot of dogs around that I tell him, just move away a little bit. Can you just give your opinion on what you feel the stray dog menace is? Is there a menace or just a fear?
Sure. I wouldn't agree to a stray dog being a menace. I would say that there's a garbage menace. And as human beings, we just produce so much garbage. It's like an invitation to a biryani party for the dogs. Yeah? So it's like, come and hang around. But if you understand the nature of a dog, they are self-declared security guards. Yeah. So if a dog is living on a street, he's only there because he feeds at the local garbage that's available. And so he's feeding there, he's patrolling the street, he's protecting it. So he's keeping our street safe at night. Government of India put in a program called the ABC program, which is Animal Birth Control Program, saying if you remove the dogs, it's far more dangerous because the food source is there. The minute you remove the dog, new dogs will enter. And the new dogs bring rabies. They don't know you, they will invade, they could bite. You know, we don't know the new dog. But the dog that's grown up on your street, that is feeding there, he knows and he wants to coexist. He's what we call a local stray dog, a desi kutta. So we befriend him, you sterilize him, you vaccinate him, he creates a rabies-free zone. Yeah? He won't let any outside dog enter because he's so territorial, he's guarding his street and his food source. And so it's like it's a win-win. He looks after your street, you look after him, and yes, very true. The real guards sleep and these dogs do the patrolling. But if you can understand the psyche of a dog, for a minute, if ever you want to get over a fear, just imagine how the animal thinks. So his eyesight is not good like ours. His whole life is about the sounds he hears and the smells. His smell is like 1,000 times yours and mine. And his hearing is like maybe 300. He hears decibels that you and I will never hear. So you're going past in a vehicle and he hears this noise on his street. He's a chaser. So he will chase. Ideally, if you're on a two-wheeler and you're in a strange locality and the dog is chasing, you could carry a water pistol and you can squirt the dog, and he, of course, the minute he realizes, okay, it's not another dog, it's not another threat, he will back off. Or you could throw a few rusks, and then every time he hears your vehicle, he's going to remember. And he says, my buddy's coming.
Thank you, Amala.
Just on the Bakri thing, the slaughter that we spoke about, using your presence as a celebrity, if more talks could be done, it is about all organized religions, there's something or the other. Like, for example, strongly to believe, and not with due respects to all religions and to my community and to every community, no God said that you can eat and slaughter animals all year through and on the Navratri 9 days not eat them. No
Right.
God has said that. So it is about each one of us moving away from these dogmatic beliefs and truly know that no God came down on earth to create a religion or a community or a cult, and never ever said to destroy the creation on certain days and not destroy them on certain days. So if using the power of your being a celebrity can help in you doing these kind of talks, which move people away from all these old beliefs, would be truly helpful. Because we do the larger things, we hear these larger talks, but we go back to the simple thing and we want our chicken and everybody wants the mutton. And when I see my non-veg friends and they think I'm Dakyanusi, they think you can't eat ghas fos, and all of that we talk about.
Okay,
but
thank
so,
you.
Please
Thank you. Mehul ji, may we have you up stage, please. Thank you, Amala. Thank you so much. Put your hands together for Amala, and Mehul ji, please come and give the certificate to Amala.